know, I've always wanted to play in India because of the fundamental love within the culture. You know, it really aligns with what I'm about. Even before I was coherent to what music was, Ozzy Osbourne was present and helpful in my life. He was like my Batman. Never dilute anything you do. Always do it with the ferocity and fire and might. I was so tired of being told to shorten the songs, turn the guitars down, make the drums less loud. I've been told this for 4 years. And I literally in my head, I was like, if this is the end of my career.
All right, Lola India 2026. The whole country's been waiting for this. YUNGBLUD in the house!
I am so happy to be here, man.
Oh.
I'm so excited to be here.
You know, that welcome you got?
Wild.
Even movie stars, we don't give that
Honestly,
welcome.
I was like...
Not Bollywood movie stars.
That was wild.
It's just love, man. It's just love for you.
Yeah, man. I honestly, I've been so excited to come here. Like, I didn't really sleep on the plane over because I was so excited. I was like tossing and turning the whole time. And to receive a reaction like that, the past 24 hours has been unbelievable.
The airport was cool too, eh?
Right.
You weren't expecting that.
No, I was like, wow, that was wild, honestly. The love, the energy. I knew it would be like this. You know, I've always wanted to play in India because of the fundamental love within the culture. You know, it really aligns with what I'm about. So it's amazing to be here, man.
I'm going to start with the music. You know, Zombie is become an anthem. You're not going to believe what you hear when you get on stage tomorrow and when Zombie starts.
Wow.
Because there are going to be 35,000 people singing every lyric. And then you will realize what I'm telling you. And the goosebumps you will get from the top to the bottom.
I'm getting it now, bro. I'm getting it now.
It's going to go crazy. Because that song is the anthem for a whole generation in India, man.
Wow.
And it can be about you, about myself or anybody having a bad day or just being a misfit, anything. I don't know what you were thinking when you were writing it. It's such a beautiful song.
Yeah, I was thinking about the same thing. I really learned something as a songwriter because the song is so specific to me. It's about loss and losing someone. But I really learned to write from a place of humanity and ambiguity, you know what I mean? Where it can mean many different things to many different people. And I think that's where the greatest songs, that's what the greatest songs are about. It means something different to you, something different to me, you know? So it's been wild to see how that song has been received. And yeah, I can't wait to be on stage on Saturday night and hear India sing with me, you know?
And I find it also very interesting that you would do 2 videos for it.
Yeah.
The first one, I actually call her Florence Nightingale.
Yeah.
You know, in the Great War, there used to be Florence Nightingale.
Florence Nightingale, yeah.
She's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And that video makes me cry, Dom. I mean, I can be having a rough day and I'm like, what am I complaining about? Yeah. I can watch that video and go, everything's okay.
Yeah, we wanted to do that. I really think the song was, when we wrote the song, I knew, and I heard the orchestras on it and I heard it back out the speakers, I knew it was special. You know what I mean? I was like, I know this song is, because when you write songs, right, you write 15, 20 an album, but to come across a song like that, it's rare. You know what I'm saying? You get probably 5 in your career, I would say, if you have a really great career, where you know something's really special and cuts deep to the same level as drinking water or feeling something so deep in your stomach. I knew the video had to be amazing, and I've been a fan of Florence Pugh for years, and I knew the video had to be, I knew I needed an artist who could really nail honestly the pain in that song, and she did, and she came in between filming Avengers for one day and nailed the whole thing in one day. It was crazy.
And you know, you think back to periods like the pandemic and what nurses have done for us,
yeah, man.
Male or female.
100%.
And that sensitizes you to that. It's just
that was it. I really feel like we almost take healthcare workers for granted. We don't, you know what I mean? A lot of people don't see them as human beings with the same issues every day. They are heroes, so we take heroes for granted. I really wanted that video to be a kind of a call out to any healthcare worker and anyone who works in a hospital, just to say thank you and we see you and you know we love you and that's what it was about, and It was beautiful and shocking really to see how many people felt extremely seen through that video. And that's all I ever want to do with my music and my art, is to make people feel seen, people feel loved, and people feel like their life is important, because everyone's is.
The other end of the spectrum, here's another guru of rock and roll, which is Billy Corgan, Smashing Pumpkins. You did a wonderful podcast with Billy, and it's a stark video. It's snowing and it's a graveyard, and it's you and the band. And I feel Billy and you again are kindred souls, isn't it?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's so wild, man, because Siamese Dream, Smashing Pumpkins' Siamese Dream was such a massive album for me because it was like, the first one, Gish, was rock and roll, and it was punky and it was full of energy. But Siamese Dream was like, they took rock music and they made it theatrical and they made it emotional, and it made me feel and it made me understand things about myself that I didn't even know were possible. So I think like I was really channeling that album when I was writing Zombie. I was listening to a lot of Billy's music. So when the song got Grammy nominated, I was like, I'm just gonna shoot my shot.
I want you guys to cheer on this one. What do they feed them in Donny at Doncaster? You know what I'm talking about, yeah? So Louis Tomlinson was here last year playing Lola.
Killer.
And great bloke. And
telling you, man.
I was like, is it the Yorkshire pudding?
It's the Yorkshire pudding, man. It makes us happy. Like, what have you got to be sad about when you get Yorkshire puddings every Sunday? You know what I mean?
You guys are very proud of your heritage, of Donny. That's what I love.
I mean, to be honest, it was a small town when I grew up. It's now a city in the north of England. Where the people, man, they're so friendly. You know, I think like with it all, when I first moved down to London, I speak to anyone. The way I was brought up, I would talk to anyone on a train, on a bus, in a pub. But when I moved to London, not many people talk to each other. So I've been from Doncaster, I'd get on the train and be like, "Hello, mate, how you doing?" And they'd be like, "Fuck off." I was like, "All right, fair." You know what I mean? Classic.
Oh.
But that's why I love Doncaster. It's real personable, you know?
You know, Dom, 3 decades ago when I started my radio career, I'm probably older than you, but my career.
3 decades ago, yeah. I'm 28, so...
Man, I used to play Estranged, Guns N' Roses, November Rain, Guns N' Roses, and Stairway to Heaven, the full track.
Wow.
There was no concept of a radio edit.
Legend.
Now, they'll say radio edit, 3 minutes. I would play 7-minute, 6-minute versions of songs and people would listen to it. Can't do that anymore, which is why I love Hello Heaven Hello, because you've just gone back to that whole rock opera thing, man.
Yeah.
I'm aching to say, can we play the whole 9 minutes?
I'm telling you. Yeah, you can play the whole 9 minutes. Just give me one, guys. Come on, Radio 1, just one time. One time, we'll make an event out of it. I'll tune in.
But man, we got to talk about the song. You get into Air Studios.
Yeah.
I saw a video with you, the London Philharmonic Orchestra. Yeah. And to just create that, please take us to the story, please.
It was wild. I remember the album was done.
Yeah, Idols.
Idols was done. Idols was finished, but it didn't have an opener. The album was starting with Idols Part 1. And I was like, this isn't good enough yet. Because we'd been on such a journey of, I think when you hit 28 years old or 27 years old, this album was a risk for me. I was so tired of being told to shorten the songs, turn the guitars down, make the drums less loud. I've been told this for 4 years. And I literally, in my head, I was like, if this is the end of my career, then it, I'm gonna go out flying. I'm gonna go out in a blaze of glory. So I was like, we need, I was listening to a lot of opera and a lot of like Leonard Bernstein, like West Side Story. I was like, we need an overture. The album needs a transition point for the Youngblood you've known before to this album. And I remember, all I wanted this album to be was an adventure. I didn't care about anything other. I didn't care about singles. I didn't care about any of that. It was just like, when you put this on, I want it to be an adventure. Now, we didn't intend to write a 9.5-minute song, but it just didn't want to end. And I remember when you are writing music or making art or painting a picture or doing a radio interview and everything feels limitless, there is no greater feeling in the world as an artist to be able to be like, let's just keep pursuing. It's like, I don't know, it's like running down an avenue that is just, you never want to end. It's like a night out that you don't want to stop, you know? It's like, it was amazing. It took us 2 weeks to write. Hello, Heaven, Hello. 2 weeks to write. And then to see orchestras, which I wrote on a keyboard, been played by the London Philharmonic at Air Studios in London, where Elton John made that studio famous, is just mad, you know?
Something happened to me when I saw, I think it was 6 or 7 years ago, and I went, who is this kid who's got Travis Barker from Blink-182, again, playing What's My Age Again and all those hits on the radio, to collaborate with him? And you know, those songs were just so great. I mean, the fact that you did 11 minutes, I Think I'm Okay, with Halsey, and of course with Machine Gun Kelly, but Travis was part of that.
Yeah.
You know, tell me about that relationship you share with him.
I remember when I was making 11 minutes with Ozzy, we had a hip hop beat on it, and I was like, I don't like this. It was just not hitting. And I remember Zach being like, or Ash, one of them was like, let me just call Travis. And I was like, Travis who? And like Barker, I was like, shut up. And within an hour, he was at the studio, and we rented one of my best friend's drum kits, because they didn't have a drum kit in the studio. So we would have time. I was like, Travis is going to be here in an hour. I need you to pack up your kit in your van and bring it to me right now. And he's like, why? I'm like, Travis Barker's going to play your kit. He's like, I'll be there in an hour. And then Travis comes in, listens to the song once, goes, love it, gets in the studio, plays it once, nails it once. And then I just put my hand on the red button. I was like, that was amazing. Can you just play it one more time just for my memory, please? And then he played it again, and then he left. And it was cool, man.
And then you had him back?
And then we had him back. And I feel like there was just this unfiltered energy. I remember rock music was starting to bubble. Hip hop was dominating.
Yeah.
And I remember rock music was starting to bubble, and I was like 19, 20, I had this energy. And Travis liked that. Travis was like, let's do more, let's do more, let's do more. And we were just not thinking, we were having fun and making music. And I think like that period of my life is so beautiful, because I was just making music with my friends that you never know is gonna be generationally important. And then when in the succession of 11 minutes, Parents, and I Think I'm Okay, this music that I was in Los Angeles, going to the studio every day, having fun, writing, not even thinking about too much, starts to go multi-platinum in America. It was a time in my life where I can kind of, it's not really explainable, because you're writing something with your friend and you put it out and it just becomes generationally important. That's just like wild, you know? But you only realize that in hindsight.
Two things which you made me sob with. One is the zombie video. I still watch it, I sob. Every time I see you bring that box to Ozzy Osbourne and he opens it up and you say, Tristan made this for you. And he takes out the cross and he wears it, and you show him your cross and he wears it the other way. I bawl, man.
Yeah, man.
It is one of the most beautiful moments, not just in rock and roll history, but just for humanity, you know? I want you to talk about that deep friendship with Ozzy and Sharon Osbourne. What's the most memorable thing that Ozzy's told you that has changed you as an artist?
I think he always said to me, even before I knew him, he always told the world never to compromise and to be fundamentally yourself. And when I met him, rock music as a genre is really polarizing. You know, people love you, people don't. The world of entertainment is polarizing. People like you, people don't. That's just art. You know what I mean? If you see a painting on the wall,
Yep.
you either like it or you don't. But when you have an artist, people forget that when you don't like them, that's a person at the other end of it. So Ozzy's always been there for me on that regard, but I'll never forget when I got to sit with him and I got to talk about his life and his career and his whirlwind of a life, you know? And I just basically said it, is it like, what do you do in this situation? He was like, never dilute anything you do. Always do it with the ferocity and fire and might that you want to do. As human beings, we are so terrified to put ourselves out there in case of someone turning the nose up at it. There's no worse feeling than you showing yourself. You're showing your soul. You become excited and someone kind of turns their nose up at it. But what Ozzy taught me to do is, if you get a negative reaction from someone, that's probably their problem. You are only enslaved by the negativity if you choose to be. And I was like, it was just blowing my mind that rock stars that I look up to and love went through the same thing as I did. In that moment, backstage at Birmingham, everyone, with Ozzy, he has given and given and given and given. No one, I never saw anyone give anything back to Ozzy Osbourne. So he gave me a cross 2 years prior. So in my head, I was like, at the Birmingham show, I want to return the favor, because I knew that it was a monumental moment for him, and I knew that he was nervous. And you know what it's like in this life, minerals and reality brings you back down to earth. And as a performer, when you got to walk out to 45,000 people, it's a crazy experience. And you have to ground yourself, or you take it for granted. If you take it for granted, you do not deserve the honor of doing this thing. And I think, like, with Ozzy, I just wanted him to hold some gold in his hand that I'd made him, and just know that we love him, and know that, like, I was grateful for everything he did for me. Like, even before I was coherent to what music was, Ozzy Osbourne was present and helpful in my life. He was like my Batman. You know, from 2 years old, I was an angry, energetic, wild child, you know, and people didn't get me. People didn't understand me. People thought I was going to be trouble. And Ozzy was there for me before I even heard Sabbath's music, and then later Ozzy's solo shit. Wild.
I meant that when we welcomed you, saying one of the reasons you're most loved in India is because you respect tradition. In India, when you learn how to play the tabla, you sit at the feet of your guru, your mentor.
I love that.
It's in the West, you probably have your own version of it. That, you know, the young drummer will set up a drum kit for his mentor, for his guru, you know.
Yeah.
And you have that with all these people. I mean, Steven Tyler and Joe Perry. I'm looking at the studio sessions of My Only Angel, and thank you for putting out some BTS videos, you and your team. And then I'm seeing, you know, the live performance at the MTV Video Music Awards. I mean, man, that shrieking vocal,
crazy.
Joe's lead guitar. Those guys are the OG.
The OG. the OG, I mean, I think what's crazy is when you see Joe Perry play guitar, no one can play like that. It's mad. Like when he plays the slide, and when he plays, like, we as young kids try and play like Joe, and then you put Joe on it, and it's like, it just sings out the speakers. And I don't know, I think the hardest thing in rock music is people, for the past 15 years, ridiculed you for the reference point. Whereas the reason why I feel like I get on with a lot of these older rock stars is because the reference point is what we have in common. The fact that Steven Tyler and Mick Jagger grew up on Muddy Waters and Screaming Jay Hawkins and the American blues and carried that forward in their own way, the same way that the Beatles loved Buddy Holly and carried that forward in their own way, the same way that Oasis loved the Beatles and T-Rex and carried that forward in their own way. What I love, what just gave me goosebumps about sitting at the feet of your guru is, that is why rock music is a sacred genre that cannot be faked, because you have to know what you're talking about. You have to respect what's been before. And rock music got lost because that general essence of the whole process became a target. If a young band sounds like Led Zeppelin nowadays, amazing. Hell yeah. Because the chances are 15-year-olds have no idea about that. But their parents do and their grandparents do, and that's how you can connect. And music's all about connecting. That's what's been amazing this year, to see in the Youngblood fan base the cross-generational love within the fan base. It's from 7 to 75 now. And that has been, there's no bigger dream for me than that.
You know, you've spoken out on politics, identity, mental health. We love that. We love that you would just speak from the gut. How do you decide when to bring political messages into a show and when to let the music speak, or is it just a gut thing? That moment.
It's a gut thing when I talk about what's going on with the world. When I see what's going on with the world, like last week when I was talking about Iran and what's going on there, I was like, I often, against the advice of my publicist or whatever, will just feel something. And I feel like when you are in your community of 30,000 people and you see a father and daughter have something in common, two friends say hello to each other, lovers kiss in the crowd, people forget that I get to watch a show every night too. People don't realize that every night I get to watch human beings connect and love. And when the world is suffering, the inspiration that I get from that love makes me talk, makes me shout, makes me fight, and makes me love harder every single show. You know, I really think what's important for people to know is that when you are at a gig, you are part of the show. The people are 80% of the show. When artists and performers forget that, that is the beginning of the demise, I think, or the beginning of the end. We are so lucky to do this.
Touring internationally is very intense. Is there something that you use to stay grounded physically, mentally, especially for a big arena like the Idols tour?
Yeah.
I asked Sting 2 years ago, he said it's yoga, meditation. I asked Louis, he said, mate, I'll just have a cigarette and a drink.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody has their own process.
I'm a boxer.
Yeah, I remember you speaking to the Apple guy.
Yeah.
And you were talking about Zach with Zayn.
I box on show days. So I do an hour every time we have a show day. I box. I get my heart rate up. And then I got a blanket I take with me and candles, same smell. Because obviously a hotel room or a tour bus or a plane is my home. So you got to have a little bit of consistency. So I got my boxing gloves, my blanket, my candles, and my vibe, and my chaps.
And of course your push-ups and your weights, I've seen you do that.
Yeah, I got to do it, man. Got to do it.
All right, fan questions. This is Kev Khan. Thank you, Kev. You came to the airport also to meet him. And Kev says, now that you're about to make your debut in India, does that lead to a possibility of India being a destination for the Blood Fest, going on a tour, standalone show instead of the festival?
100%. Like, I am so excited to be here in India. I am so excited to start our story. I want to do it all. I want to tour the whole country. I want to bring Bloodfest here. I want to collaborate with artists. I want to spend time out here. Like, it's been a dream for me to come here as a tourist, let alone as a musician. So, yeah, if you guys keep calling me, I'll keep coming back.
Humpreet from Punjab, your handle is Vega Lord on Instagram. Youngblood is pretty dope, but Nessa Barrett is my icon. If y'all could ask him when Nessa, who performed at Bloodfest, and a good friend of his will come to India, I'd be grateful.
I will definitely ask her. I have no idea when, if she has plans to, but I will definitely ask her and let her know that you are waiting for her.
Devanshi Agarwal from the state of Jharkhand in India. Devanshi_Agarwal. What's the one thing, Dom, you're looking forward to doing the most in India besides the performance?
Oh, well, I've eaten a lot of food already. I'm telling you, I love Indian hospitality. It's hilarious. I'm like, they literally give me a big portion and then they give me more. And I'm like, I'm good. And it's like, more. I'm like, I got to go on stage with my shirt off on Saturday night. You know what I mean? I'm going to like leave bigger. I like it. The food, man. Food.
Anugunj Yadav, you collaborated with legendary rock icons like Steven Tyler, Travis Barker, Ozzy Osbourne, but there's only been a Halsey collaboration. When is the next female rock artist collaboration?
That's a good question. The next album, I would say. And that's all I'm saying.
Rucha from Pune. Thank you, Rucha. Dom, which is the easiest song to write? Which one was the hardest song to write?
Wow, all right. Easiest song to write. My Only Angel came out like that. I feel like me and Aerosmith, when you're on a first date, you're either going to go home together or you're not going to like each other. And that energy's really sexy. And me and Aerosmith, we went home together and we wrote that song like immediately, you know? And that was a beautiful moment. But then like songs like Zombie, they're hard to write because you've got to carve, you know what I mean? You've got to break your rib cage and take out your heart, man, you know? It's not always easy.
And the final one, Royston. When he performed at Ozzy's send-off, how did he feel? Please ask YUNGBLUD that.
Wow. I was so nervous. I was so nervous. I just wanted to make my hero proud of me. You know what I mean? I think like it's a moment that you kind of ask the gods for as a kid. You know, you dream about like playing massive stadium rock shows and knowing the posters on your wall personally. And then that moment actually happened. I'm still kind of like, what? You know what I mean? I'm still kind of a bit like that. But it was just the greatest day ever. I think I got to be there with the greatest, biggest rock gods of all time and just watch them and be in their presence, let alone go and sing with them. Epic.
Your music is visceral, but you're lovely, Dom. Thank you.
Right
Thank you very much.
Right
YUNGBLUD, ladies and gentlemen.
94.3 Radio 1.